So this is a really good question, and thank you for asking. What is fascism? And I'm not some authority on definitions, but I'm going to offer you my opinion about what fascism is and why that distinction is very important when we're talking about the threat of a fascist government versus the Democrats who are controlling, manipulative, and oppressive. So I like to start with the person who invented fascism, and he did it in the era of World War II in Italy, and he founded a party called fascism. I think it's fascismo in Italian, which means bundle of sticks, and his name is Benito Mussolini. But look at Mussolini, and I looked at what he believed, and I looked at how those beliefs translated into policy. The reason why I start with Mussolini's beliefs is because in a fascist state, the leader's beliefs translate directly into policy, in the lived reality of the citizens, because in a fascist state, the leader is like a god figure. So Mussolini believed in an all-powerful state ruled by a dictator. And what all-powerful means is, if a state is irritated by your beliefs, it imprisons you or kills you so that your beliefs don't exist in society anymore. Mussolini believed in nationalism, a form of supremacy that holds that only citizens are full humans, and that citizenship in fascism is generally defined very narrowly to be the people, like in the case of Italy, to be the people who looked and thought like Mussolini. If there was a fascist government in the US, like headed by like Trump, it would narrow citizenship to mean people who think and look like Trump. Mussolini believed in racial and cultural supremacy, and what's included in this supremacy doctrine is purging people from the citizenry who don't fit the bill. And they do that purging physically by like killing people. They do that purging like through incarceration. Then they do it through economic and political subjugation. Mussolini also believed in forming the state and the citizens into basically a cult, with him as the leader, as like a messiah figure. This was like a long form video. I'd spent some time talking about how those beliefs actually translated into their lived reality in 19th century Italy, but like I don't have that kind of like time frame. So I'm gonna give you my takeaway from the study of what 19th century Italy looked like under Mussolini, what Nazi Germany looked like under Hitler, and give you my definition of what fascism is. Fascism turns a state into just a political body that can oppress people, into like a god body that has the divine right to oppress people. The head of this state, the dictator, becomes an extension of God, like a Jesus Christ figure.
And just this weekend, on social media, on Easter Sunday no less, he reposted commentary from the right-wing site Gateway Pundit, claiming he is, quote, the chosen one, sent here directly by God.
And the citizens of the state become like the children of this Christ figure, like children who must adore their parent.
I say, when Jesus died, he died for us. So he did it for us. So when Trump is facing all these things, he's doing it for us.
And on June 14th, 1946, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God gave us Trump.
If they don't adore and obey their parent, then they must be violently corrected. And if they can't be corrected, then they must be destroyed. So this is a very distinct kind of oppression, and this distinction is very important when we're talking about comparing things like Project 2025 and the Democratic Party's general fuckery. Because if you imagine that the Democratic Party aims for a neoliberal, oppressive government beholden to corporations, which is essentially an oligarchy, and you think that's the same as the fascist government that some people imagine will happen under Trump, what you're missing is the very different levels of entrenchment that would attach to these respective nightmares. And there's other important differences, but we're gonna just talk about this one in this video. If we're comparing two worst case scenarios between the parties, it's much easier to reverse a neoliberal oppressive government trend. The job of dismantling a fascist government, however, which kind of centers around a cult vibe, would be like trying to convince an armed extremist Christian who has state sanction to pew pew us that Jesus is not Lord. Another way of looking at that is, imagine there's two armed drivers traveling to a school, and we have to stop them. We want to stop them. One driver is driving at the speed limit and obeying all the traffic laws. Another driver is driving 90, sideswiping cars, hitting bicyclists. Like, both things are bad. We don't want either thing to happen. But if you had to choose which one you wanted to have the job of stopping, which one would it be? If you want more videos elaborating on this topic, I'm happy to make them. Drop some comments. I just got permission to do lives, so like I could also hold a live if there's enough interest, and we can talk it through.